So, Dollywood is one of the most well themed and landscaped theme parks in the world. So, here's my review of it. Dollywood is a park located in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and is a park that is very nice and clean, but we'll get to that later. So, Dollywood has a total of 10 roller coasters that are some of the best attractions that I have ridden so far. There is so much to do here, and there are many varieties of attractions. So, if you are a kid, you have some small coasters, or if you're more of a thrill seeker, then you have many coasters and rides to go on. So, as I said, it's located in Pidgeon Forge, Tennessee, just 1 hour from the Smoky Mountains, so most of their coasters are terrain coasters. First, I'm going to talk about the layout and walk you through it. Their layout is kind of like a loop except for one cutoff. So let's go clockwise through Dollywood's layout. So first you get to the front entrance and it isn't too bad, just a plaza and some ticket booths. Then you get in through security and get to the little Main Street kind of area with many shops and food spots like the Song Spot Bakery, which had such good cinnamon rolls. Definitely recommend. So first you turn left and you get to the Fast Pass area where you can buy the Fast Passes. Then you get to sort of a narrow path. This is what I normally go to because in the morning there are almost no crowds there. So you make your way up this winding path up the hill and it opens up to a beautiful view of the first area, which is Timber Canyon, a fantastic area. It also opens up with the first view of a coaster, which is Thunderhead, the GCI Woody. I think this area is pretty well themed with other attractions, including Dropline, Dollywood's Drop Tower. It also has a couple of kiddie rides like the Mini Drop Tower. There's also one more coaster in this area, which is Mystery Mine, the Gerstlauer Eurofighter, which was my second favorite coaster at Dollywood and I think is very underrated. As I said, this area is very well themed and very well landscaped and is one of the best lands at Dollywood. So now, after you get to the entrance of Mystery Mine, you can either go forward or left, which is what we are going to do. So you enter two logs and see the newest land at Dollywood, Wildwood Grove. So this is the kids area of the park, and I think it is either the best area in the park or Jukebox Junction, but we'll get on to that later. I love this area for the charm it has that no other area has. It just has the vibes. But as I said, this is the kids area, so it will have some family attractions like a swinging ship, a set of flying scooters, and a bear rail ride. They also have a really cool pathway with looking like a dirt path. So after you get past the flying scooters, you get to your first roller coaster in this land, which is Dragonfly, the Vekoma SFC. I think this is a great family coaster and is actually pretty intense. Then there's a long path to the other coaster in this area, which is Big Bear Mountain, the Vekoma Multi-Launch Family Coaster. I think this is the perfect fit for an area like this. It is also intense too. They're also coming out with another coaster this year with Night Flight Expedition, the Mock Rocking Boat, also, the landscaping is some of the best at Dollywood, with much rock work and water flowing everywhere. So, after you get out of that area, there's a little hangout spot where you can see Mystery Mine. Then there's a long path down to the next section. The next section is Wilderness Pass, which is an okay area. So, after you walk down a hill, you get to look at your first coaster, which is Fire Chaser Express, the Gerstlauer Family Coaster, which is pretty fun. Then straight next to it, you see the eagle statue. Then you know that you're next to Wild Eagle, the B&M Wing Coaster. I think the lift hill of Wild Eagle really looms over this section and is kind of ominous. Then if you move down the hill a little bit more, you get to the last of the coasters in this section, which is Tennessee Tornado, the Arrow Looper. I think this is an okay ride that is pretty intense. I mean, there is no real theming in this area except a couple of benches, but they do have some of the best coasters at Dollywood at least. Now you go down a hill and get into Craftson's Valley, the other area at Dollywood. I like this area for the vibes that it gives off because it is really just a forest with a path. Well, at least it feels like it. It has lots of shops like a blacksmith and lots of food areas. There's also an eagle sanctuary, which I definitely recommend trying out. This area also has Blazing Fury, an old dark ride hybrid coaster thingy that I unfortunately did not get to ride during my visit. There's also a cutoff area with Owen's Farm. Owen's Farm is nothing much except Barnstormer, the SNX Scream and Swing, and a kids' play area, so there's pretty much nothing there. This area also has a log flume, but I didn't get to ride it. Oh, and this area has the gristmill, which is one of the best foods I've ever tasted ever, which is the cinnamon bread. Oh, I love it. You just gotta try it. Try it. But in all seriousness, this is a pretty good area slash two areas in the park, and it represents pretty much all of Dollywood as a whole. So, after you get down and over the hill, you reach the real kiddie area of the park, which is the country fair section. I think this has lots of kiddie rides like the Scrambler and the Flying Elephants. So, just a tip for the Flying Elephants is that you know how you just need to push the button to go up? So, just push it on and off and on and off. Then it turns into an interesting ride that is not for the littles, I'll say the least. Other than the rides, I think this has nothing really to do, and it is the least themed section at Dollywood, which says a lot because it would be a fine themed area for Elitch Gardens' standards. So I think this is an okay area for the littles, and nothing else really. So when you go all the way back and up the hill, you get to the next area of the park, which is Rivertown Junction. This section is the same as Craftsman's Valley in a sense that it mainly survives off the vibes. This section I think is the smallest in the park, not counting Owen's Farm, with only one ride in this area, which is Rampage River Rapids, the River Rapids attraction. And I'm warning you, you will get drenched on this ride. Like my brother got really unlucky and when we were just stopped there where other rafts were loading, there was just a waterfall, and my brother was practically drowning while cannons of water were going off all around us. Well, that was just a fun time. So, this area is nothing much instead of Rapids Ride that will get you drenched. So after you move on, there's the last real area of the park, which is Jukebox Junction, which I think is probably the best area of the park in my opinion. This area has two rides, which includes Rockin' Roadway, a ride where you get to drive hot rods and other cars around. There's also the standout attraction at Dollywood and the best roller coaster I've been on so far, which is Lightning Rod, the RMC Hybrid. I mainly love this area for its theme. It has lots of roadway theming, like the paths are literal roads. Isn't that awesome? I also think this section also derives off the rides, but really it's just a good section overall. There's also a cutoff to a Dolly themed kind of thing with a museum and cool buildings. So that is Jukebox Junction, which is probably the best section at Dollywood in my opinion. That is all the lands and attractions at Dollywood. So now let's get into the tips and tricks. So I would recommend going for 2 days here because you really just get the full experience in 2 days. Like you can do it in one day, but it just isn't the same. Second, I would get the fast pass if you can because when we went during spring break, it was so crowded that we would have been cooked without one. I would also recommend to spend the night at one of their hotels. Even how pricey it is, it really just gives you the full experience, and they have a great resort, or should I say two resorts, not on site, but still like a 5 minute drive away from the actual park. They also have free buses, so they can drive you there without a car. For my score of Dollywood, I would give it a 5 out of 5 because I love the atmosphere and general presentation of the park. I think the rides are some of the best I've ever ridden so far, and that's why I'm glad to say I've been to this park. That is my detailed review of Dollywood. Let me know your thoughts about it and your experience at Dollywood in the comments. It will also have been just a bit over a year since I've been to Dollywood when I posted this, so that's kind of cool. So subscribe if you want to, or just like my videos, because there is plenty more of that on the way. And I'll see you in the next one.